Hello, my name is Brittany Brown, and tonight I am going to speak on Lowe's and its charitable contributions back to the community. What Lowe's likes to do to give back is they like to give back through education. They feel that education is key, and that is the best way to give back to poverty stricken areas. Lowe's is a Fortune 50 company. It has over 50 years of supporting the communities and areas of education. It has contributed over $2 million in efforts to build the foundation that they have. What Lowe's likes to do is instead of hiring contractors and people to come out, Lowe's will allow their employees to donate hours and time to rebuild schools and areas to help out with educational purposes. Lowe's founded the Toolbox Foundation in 1957, but they didn't call that then. They called it charitable contributions. Um, it supported, it had so much more support that it had grown to match the growing needs of every community that it serviced. From $3 million in 2004 in contributions to $19 million in 2010, the growth significantly changed. Education for Lowe's, they do a non-for-profit organization, and they allow public agencies that to help support the charitable goal that they're trying to give for the community. The primary philanthropic goal is to help K through 12 schools in education and community improvement. In these areas, the Lowe's Foundation is committed to supporting the projects that have the greatest impacts, that will basically allow the students to not worry about if they have a swing to swing on or if they have a gym to play in. They focus on those areas that the students love the most, because those are the areas that allow the students to, I guess you would want to say, reset themselves. Lowe's has established a commitment to giving educational opportunities through this foundation. Since 2006, Lowe's Toolbox for Education has contributed $25 million to over more than 54,000 schools in the U.S. In 2010, Lowe's contributed more than $2.5 million in regional grants to all 50 states. It provided $45 million in grants to benefit 6 million schools K through 12. 53% of public schools required repairs such as renovations, moderations, fixing things to allow those schools to stay open in certain areas, so that way the students wouldn't have to transfer. It wouldn't become harder on the parents to get them back and forth to school. The grant application is normally submitted by the educators and what they see wrong with school. But the great thing about the program is that Lowe's allows the students to write a letter to Lowe's seeking inspiration and telling them why, they want the gym fixed, or why the playground would be better if they fixed it. So over the years, Lowe's have helped so many schools. Just a few schools that they helped was Metcalf Elementary School. That school went without a playground for 2 years. So Lowe's went in and spent, I believe, over $15,000 to help rebuild the school. John Adams Middle School, they wanted a greenhouse, and it would help with education and learning and healthy environments and things like that. So Lowe's went in and spent over $20,000 on rebuilding a greenhouse for the students. Harvey Jones Elementary School didn't have a gymnasium for a while, so they went in and renovated the gymnasium, allowing the students to have somewhere to play and somewhere to go. Highland High School didn't have energy sufficient windows, so Lowe's went in and replaced all of the windows, so that way in the wintertime it wasn't cold. The kids were not always freezing. The charitable foundation reaches all over 50 states. Grants are normally funded between fall and spring, but what Lowe's has offered to do now is in the regular grant schedule, they'll give back to a school as the school year goes on. It has boosted its support in trade and education within 5 years, to 1.5 million dollars in annual commitment to helping with education and rebuilding schools. So with that 1.5 million dollars, they have contributed 1.25 million dollars over the 5 years to skills and competence in Canada. So what they're trying to do with Canada is they're going to go over and branch over and help the same areas that have issues over there and start rebuilding those schools and things like that. Their different partners they have are rebuilding together, the Boys and Girls Club, and the nature controversy, etc., things like that. What the great thing about these boards is that every person in every department that Lowe's has sits on one of these boards, and they discuss the different problems, and they give the different issues that Lowe's sees and has, and they go over how much they want to give a year, what they want to give to each school, or what school may be more important than the next. Larry Stone is the chairman of the foundation. He's been with the company for 41 years. And so with him being the CEO and the founder, he has given so much input. He has done so many things. Like I said, he has branched it out to where every person on the board has a voice, a sound, something to say. He believes in listening to everyone and knowing that, hey, not everyone has bad ideas. All ideas are good ideas, especially when it comes to education for students. So he sits down with everyone and let them explain what they feel is the best way and the best avenue to go. So that way they can give a school the best experience ever to continue with education. As I said before, Lowe's is a charitable foundation that feels as if school is more important than anything. If you don't have education, what really do you have? And that's their outlook on things. And it's great to work for a company of that nature. So I thought it was definitely great to look into that and see how well that company gives back to students. So that was my presentation upon Lowe's, and thank you so much for listening and watching. You have a wonderful day.